I say that and I'm coughing. Okay, so I'm going to slow. Today I'm making it work. We're going to be making some laundry soap bars. I've been making bar soap for several years, and I was making laundry detergent from things like Fels Naphtha and Zote. And I just decided, I didn't know for sure what all was in those, and I wanted to make it from my own laundry soap that I knew what everything was in it. So we're going to start out. We've got my workspace covered with a spare board here. Safety first. A lot of times people use goggles when they're doing this, some type of eye protection. But I definitely recommend the rubber gloves. And anytime you're going to be using lye, making soap, it's important to use glass containers or stainless steel containers. No plastic, no aluminum. So I've already measured 3/4 cup of distilled water. It's not been heated or anything. You want to use it cool or room temperature. And to that I'm going to be adding 1/4 cup of lye crystals. Measure this out here. A lot of times I'll do this outside. I've never had any problems with it. There are some fumes. Lye is very caustic. I say that and I'm coughing. Okay, so I'm going to slowly add the lye to the water. Always add the lye to the water. Don't try to add the water to the lye. And it's amazing how quickly it heats up. Absolutely amazing. So you just add that in slowly and stir it. And you're just going to stir for, I don't know, maybe 30 to 45 seconds or so, just until it becomes clear. And I'm standing back because I can feel the fumes. I don't know, maybe you can hear it a little bit too, or see the steam rising from it. So just keep stirring that until the water turns clear. And I'm using a silicone spoon here. That's important too. To use either all glass or metal utensils. Silicone takes the heat really well. Okay, you can see it's starting to clear up. It's not completely clear, but it's not nearly as cloudy as it was. Okay. Now after I'm done with that, I've got 2 cups of coconut oil measured out in this pint jar. So this is a quart jar, this is a pint jar. So I'm going to put this in the microwave for about a minute. Okay, after about a minute, most of the oil is pretty well melted. I'm just going to give it a little stir here. Okay, I'm going to check these temperatures and show you. Anything that I use for soap making is dedicated for soap making. I don't generally, like the spoon that I just used, I'm not worried about that because it was just in the coconut oil. Anything that touches the lye, it's very important to have that as a dedicated item. So let me just check that temperature. Okay, it's going to be about 165, amazingly. Let me get a paper towel, hang on. And we'll check the temperature of the oils. Okay, this temperature is not quite as high, so what I'm probably going to do is pop that back in the microwave for about 20 more seconds because I want them to cool down to the same temperature. They need to be between 95 and 105 in order for the soap to come to trace. This is cold process, by the way. Some people use crock pots and do warm process. This is cold process, but the temperatures do have to be exactly the same. Okay, now let's check this temperature again. So let's see, always use distilled water. You can pick that up anywhere. This lye, I just got it at a local hardware store. You do have to ask for it. They don't keep it out, but it can easily be picked up there. And this is kind of thing, this is for information purposes only. We're at 136 on this, so I'm just going to let these two be for right now. I just have to wait for them both to cool to the same temperature, and I can keep using the microwave for the coconut oil to get it to the same temperature. Another thing that I always like to have ready is to have a vinegar rinse, because anything that comes in contact with the lye needs to be neutralized with the vinegar rinse. And then you can wash it with warm soapy water after that. Okay, it's been about 30 minutes, and I'm going to take my thermometer here, if I can turn it on with the glove on. And we'll check the temp again. It's going to be right about 102.6, which is perfect because it needs to be between 95 and 105. I'll check this one too. Alright, it is go time. And what happens next is we're going to put the coconut oil into the stainless steel bowl and then slowly add the lye mixture. You always want to add the lye to the oil that you're using. And then I'm going to stir it for 5 full minutes. I'm not going to record the whole thing though, because that could get really boring. So here goes the oil. And then again, I've got this silicone spoon. I'm going to slowly add the lye mixture. So what this hand stirring does is it incorporates the lye mixture into all the oil. You really want to get it mixed well. And then I'll actually use an immersion blender to bring it to trace. And I'll show you what trace looks like.
You're recording.
Okay, we are about done with the 5 minutes of stirring. Cancel on that timer. And this is what it looks like now. It is still like really watery, but it's kind of cloudy looking. So what I'm going to do to speed up the process, you could keep hand stirring. I've done that once, and I invested in an immersion blender not long after that. Because you have to bring it to trace to where it's almost like a pudding type consistency. So here we go. Okay, can you see the difference in that right away? It's not to trace yet, but it sure has changed the look. You don't want to over process either because it'll get crumbly if you do. Seems like it's taking a little time, but I'm not going to worry about that. There we go. Okay, it's still not real thick, but again, I'm not going to worry about it because it's a laundry bar soap. If it were for like hand, face, body, I'd want it to be a thicker, creamier texture. I'm going to hit it a couple more times here with the immersion blender and then add my essential oils. Okay. At this point, once it's kind of gotten to this, you should be able to get a line through it, and the line not disappear real quick. Again, I'm not going to worry too much about it. You can pick any kind of essential oils you like as far as scent. They're 100% pure essential oils. That's all I use, but I do like whatever scent that you want to use. Today I'm using orange oil, and I'm one of these that just sprinkle some in there until it smells good. Yep, that smells pretty orangey right now, and I think I'm about out of that one to get that one replaced. I'm also going to add a little bit of cypress, just because I like the really clean smell of it. And then I'm gonna stir it again with the immersion blender. Okay, I think that looks good. And actually, let's see. It's not real orangey, and since I'm out of orange, I'm actually gonna add some grapefruit. I'm definitely a make it work type of gal. Oh yeah, that smells so good. So good. Alright, so let's just get that again. Just a little. So yeah, it's not as thick as I'd really like it, but I'm not going to worry about it. I think it'll set up just fine. Okay, so you want to pour it into a mold. I use silicone because it's the easiest. You can just kind of peel it off, and I'll show you that at a later time. But you can also use glass with like parchment paper lining it. So just pour that in there. Scrape out all that goodness. Don't want to waste anything. Okay, next you're going to cover it with plastic so that it's actually touching the surface of the soap. There we go. And then wrap it in a towel to keep the heat in for as long as possible. I honestly don't know exactly what that does, but that's what you do. So I've got my old towel here. The thing with silicone, it is kind of wobbly. You have to be careful with that. Wrap it up and let it sit for about 24 hours. Laundry soap bars, they set up, they get hard a lot faster than like hand, face, and body bars, but that's another good reason to use the silicone, because it's going to be a lot easier to pop it out of there. So now I'm going to put everything in its vinegar bath and wash it with some warm soapy water, and then we'll see what happens tomorrow. So here we are about 24 hours later. We're going to check out the soap here, cut it into bars, and then lay it on this drying rack. And it's just if you want to set it on the counter, some people set it on top of the refrigerator. I happen to set it in my clawfoot tub because I don't use it much for bathing. We have a shower. That it's worked out really well to cure soap. So let's take a peek here and see what we've got. Looks good. Okay, there it is, and you can see it's pretty hard. I'm pressing down on it and nothing's happening. And this is what I love about silicone, is I could just go like this and we'll pop that right out of there. Love silicone molds. Okay, so, oh, and it smells good too. So I'm just going to take my knife, cut that into some nice bars. Now you don't want to handle it a whole lot yet because the curing process is what make the lye is still quite caustic at this point. It's the curing process that makes the saponification happen. So I'm just going to cut this into about 5 pieces. Set this on here. If you don't have a drying rack, like if you were going to leave it on here, you would just need to turn it every couple of days so that it cures all the way around. You want air to get to it. And let it cure for about 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and you're good to go. You can use it. What I'll do is I'll probably shred it in about 2 to 3 weeks, and then let it continue to dry in that shredded form, and then it's easier for me to mix up because I make a dry laundry detergent. And that's how you make laundry soap bars. Thanks for watching, making it work.